Miles! Want to get out of here?
Wherever you go from here, you have to promise to take care of that little boy for me. Make sure he never forgets where he came from.
Hi, and welcome to today's edition of The Screening Room. And today we'll be talking about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Let's talk about it. Hi, so as you can see, I'm pretty excited about this particular film. I've been a Spider-Man fan for, since the late 70s. I've got my Spider-Man shirt right here, as you can see, ready to rock and roll and tell you about this particular film. So if you have not seen Spider-Man Multiverse animation, you have to watch that one before this particular film because it's a direct sequel from the previous Spider-Man animated film from Sony, and what a film that was. It was so refreshing, the animation was gorgeous, and it really gave Disney a run for its money. So this particular part 2 is actually really not part 2, it's part 1 of 2. So I think this is a trilogy, so if you can consider this as part 2, then part 3 is coming, and I can't wait for it. This particular film is so jam-packed with lots of great visuals, camera movements, different frame rate, different story kind of tone to it, that it really boggles the particular mind when you sit through this particular film. And I can tell you, this film did not disappoint. The animation was stunning, the characters were really well thought of, and they really do have complex themes, a great family drama. To top it off, it really made the characters believable. There were times when the film slowed down and it's just two people talking about serious thing. You never really expect that from an animation, and it's so refreshing that I'm watching a film just for its entertainment value. Not since Top Gun Maverick had I just went into cinema and just absorbed the story from beginning to end and not expecting the next cringe-worthy, woke-driven narrative to be played and lecture me in the theater. That is why this film is going to make lots of money, because it's just there to entertain, fan service. I mean, it's the same thing if you're going to a shop to buy something, that money that you're going to pay that person, you want that object. You're not going to buy that thing and someone lecture you on moral values. It's, that's not what we signed up for. So back to the film. This film is a direct continuation, as I mentioned, from the last film. It's 1 year since the events of the last film. Spoiler alert territory, we are moving on to the story now, and if you've not watched this film, I highly suggest you stop right now. But if you want to continue, please like my channel, subscribe to my channel, help my channel to grow, and turn on the notification button so that you will expect future videos to come down your way. So getting back to this particular film, it's been 1 year since the last events, and our character Miles Morales has all grown up, or he's growing up, and he's trying to be the best Spider-Man that he can be. Try to juggle Spider-Man activities, trying to juggle crime fighting, trying to juggle getting to school, try to juggle his parents' expectation. It's a lot for a teenager to handle. And all of a sudden, the character that he likes, Gwen Stacy from the other universe, dropped in to see him.
You got a minute?
Oh, what? Whoa, Gwen, how did you get? How have you been?
It's a long story.
And no, at this present moment, we are setting up that he misses his friends. He missed them, and when he sees Gwen Stacy, he just couldn't be more happier, because in his book, he's been drawing pictures of Gwen Stacy. He has a crush on this girl, but she's not from this universe. She's from another universe. So, long distance relationship. So for Gwen Stacy, in her universe, she has a problem. She's trying to be, a Spider Girl, and she's trying to keep her identity away from her father. She's having a crisis, and all of a sudden in her world, another interdimension villain came in, the Vulture, and two spider beings entered her universe to try to capture that vulture, and then because of that she meets this new particular Spider-Man 2099.
My name is Miguel O'Hara. I lead an elite strike force dedicated to the security of the multiverse.
Can you go to any dimension you want with that watch?
And he has a device that allows him to cross over universes, and together with Spider-Woman they capture this particular vulture and they recruit her to join their spider society, whereby they go around all other universes to clean up all the mess of inter-universe crimes or inter-universe falling out, and their target is to capture all the villains that either disrupt the canon or crosses over to another particular universe, and sending them back home to the original universe. So that's basically what the Spider Society is there to do, and Gwen Stacy is the newest member to this particular Spider Society. So based on that, I was kind of shocked that they concentrated quite a bit on Gwen Stacy. That kind of makes her like very co-protagonist in this film, which is rightfully so. Even though Miles Morales is the hero, she has more screen time now. Trouble begins when Gwen visits Miles' universe.
Miles! You got a minute?
Because Miles follows Gwen and travels to her universe and meets the Spider Society, and then he learns from Spider-Man 2099 that he is an anomaly. He wasn't meant to be Spider-Man.
You don't belong here. You never did.
And he also learns that in the canon of all the Spider-Mans from all the other universes, in order for them to be a great Spider-Man with the great responsibility, someone must die. In the actual Spider-Man timeline, it's Uncle Ben for Peter Parker, and then for Gwen Stacy's timeline, it's her father, the captain of the police officer, the captain. So for every single Spider-Verse, someone close must die. So Indian Spider-Man universe helped prevent that person from dying, and then that kind of spewed the canon all over, and then the timeline just messes things up. And through trials and tribulation, he learns that when it was his time to become Spider-Man, the spider that bit him was actually a spider that escaped from their universe, and he wasn't even supposed to be Spider-Man. So he was a mistake. He was supposed to be the villain in his universe. Damn! This was a shocker to the people in the audience. That particular scene in the first film, the accident caused black matter to spill out, and there was a scientist that was involved in the explosion, and that black matter radiation affected him. He now is this anomaly, this particular villain that can open a black hole and travel from one point to another point. So his name is Spot, which is very funny because at the very beginning of the film he comes out as a very goofy character.
We meet again, Spider-Man.
Oh, that's funny to you?
Of course not. No. So is that a costume?
Unfortunately for both of us, this is skin.
Oh, dang.
But by the end of the film,
I'm gonna take everything from you. Like you took everything from me.
and you can tell they're building him up as a very big villain for part 3, and at the end of this particular part he becomes so powerful that he is just basically like a pure god of evil, and the audience myself couldn't see that coming because he was painted as a goofball, but by the end he was a wonderful villain. Kudos to the Sony people that wrote this villain. That is an excellent villain.
Yeah!
What I like about this film and the story itself is that it takes its time to flush out the characters and the backstory, and allowing us to be very involved in their world, their goals, their dreams, their trials, their tribulations. It's pretty clear, and it didn't really make the multiverse confusing like other multiverse films that comes along this way. And although the film was close to 2 hours and 20 minutes, it didn't really feel like 2 hours and 20 minutes. It went by like that. That is basically a mark of a very, very good film. And it ends with a solid cliffhanger that at the end you're just like, no, wait a minute, what? That's it? Where's the rest? And that is good marketing strategy. I know quite a lot of people just didn't want it. They say that continue the film, they'll be fine to watch a 4-hour film. But how are you going to make money for a 4-hour film? So they cut it, and then they're going to wait until next year before they release the other part to the general public, which I think is a brilliant idea because their films are really so good. The fan base is growing, and I think they'll do a wonderful job. I love the art style of the animation. It's brave enough to introduce this concept, and it's not frightened to immerse the audience into these various styles. Like for example, they play with frame rate. Some of the Spider-Man is moving off a very different juggle kind of motion. They play with different art styles. Even it has that comic book feel with the lines and the titles coming in and out. It looks like a living and breathing comic book. They have different visuals for each multiverse. Like for example, in India, Earth 50101 is called Mambatan, like Mumbai, but Manhattan, so it's Moonbatan or something like that. And the art style of that particular world is based like an Indian comic book, like from the Mahabharata. For Spider-Man 2099, Nova, New York, it has this particular style from this artist called Sid Mead. Sid Mead, if you don't know, was a illustrator. He did illustration for Blade Runner, Aliens, Tron, just to name a few. And his style is a cross between the 1960s kind of postcard with a very gloss of futuristic kind of painting kind of thing. So it has a very distinct look. And for Gwen Stacy, when her world comes, it changes totally to this kind of moving watercolor, pastel, frosted look. You know, the artist took time to give you this particular wonderful visual world, and you can practically pause at any part of this movie, and it's a collectible art in itself. The frame is gorgeous, and they wanted it for you, the fans, to make sure that you have this work of art to enjoy in the theater, and I think they did a wonderful job. I love, as I mentioned, the inventiveness of this particular film, the vibrancy of the colors, the strong evolution of style, especially when fight sequences, they're moving. You always feel that everyone is moving, the camera angles follow you. It's so dynamic, it's absolutely gorgeous to look at. They also have some in-jokes, especially in the Spider-Verse.
Stop Spider-Man! Wait, you?
There's a dinosaur spider being, there's a cat dinosaur spider being. A pleasant film to watch, and it has a lot of surprise for even the casual fans alike. And one of the standout characters is Hobie, this particular Spider-Man that is illustrated like some kind of paper cutout kind of situation. That is inspired from this particular artist named Jamie Reed, and he specializes in the art for the Sex Pistols, this particular rock group, and has that particular style and illustration. It's wonderful. I only have one thing that I really don't like about it, and that is just a small gripe, is that I feel that it's just way too heavy visually. It's just way too heavy. It's too much action. Sometimes it's just way too fast. And at the end, you're just visually tired. Your eyes just like, I need a break. But overall, I can tell you that this particular film is wonderful. It's highly recommended, and I'm going to give Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse an absolute A++. A grade. Please go and watch it when you have time. So that's wrap up today's edition of The Screen Room. Please like and subscribe to my channel, help my channel to grow. Click on the notification button to be alerted for future videos. And as always, please come back anytime soon. The room is always open. Bye for now.